next tip? I don't know. Since this is our first quiz, I figure this would be a good time to go over the grading process. Okay. Now, on your, this might answer your question, so hang on till I'm done. Okay? So, the first thing you do with these green sheets, you're going to track your own grades, and I'll tell you the most beneficial thing about these in a few minutes. Okay, first thing you're going to do, put your last name first. In case you have me keep these, I keep them in order. Then first name. Yes, it is. Okay, now it says here date of summative attempt number 1. So that was what, last Friday? So we had 8/24/18. Okay. Now, how many sections do we have on this quiz? 4. So I'm going to need 4 sections. I'll explain it. It will come to you in a few minutes. Now, 1.3 is our first section, right? 1 point, well, I'm going to make this bigger. 1.3 part 1 was the first section, and I can tell that because on the quiz, there's little boxes there that tell us the section. Okay, 1.3 part 1, and that was your grade, what you got from the 5-point system posted on the wall. Post, did I say? Okay, 1.3 part 1 was algebraic expressions. If you want, you can give a brief description. Algebraic expressions. You can even abbreviate it. Up to you. I don't care. Then we had 1.3 part 2, which was applications, right? And then we had 1.4 part 1, which was solving linear equations. So I'll put solve lin eq. Okay. And then we had 1.4 part 2, isolate variables. Okay. That happened to be a train wreck for this class. So, I'll get, hang on. Now, okay, now, put your scores where appropriate. I was really good at 1.3 part 1, so I got a 5 on that. Part 2, not so much. There were a lot of conceptual errors on 1.3 part 2. So maybe I got a 3 on that because one conceptual error is 3 points. Hey. All right, 1.4 part 1, solving linear equations. I'm an expert at that. I got a 5. And then on 1.4 part 2, isolating variables, I didn't study very hard, especially the undistributive one, the last one on the quiz. So I got a 2 on that. Now, you're asking me, well, because Skyward does things in percentage, it's not a standards-based grading system. So when I put a 5 in there, that is actually 100%, right? So 5 equals 100%. What does the 4 equal? Well, 4 would be 80%, right? What's a 3? 3 would be 60%, right? Times 20. A 2, 40, and a 1, 20%. You don't get zeros. The lowest grade you can get is a 1. Okay, now, right, knuckleheads. All right, so a 5 out of 5 is going to be what? 100%. Now, you could either put 100% or an A. I don't care. Skyward does percentages. I'm going to put a percent there just to match Skyward. Okay, 3 out of 5, 60%. Now, obviously, you're using your own grades, right? Right? Professor Dumas's. Okay, 5 out of 5 would be 100%. And 2 out of 5 would be a 40%. Now, if I can do either way. I can add these 4 up together, take the average. So 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 5 is 13, plus 2 is 15. And 15 divided by, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. 15 divided by 20 is going to be 75%, right? Or you can add these up together. So this is 300. Each one of these is 100% divided by 400%. You still get to 75%. However you want to do it, makes no difference. You're averaging your grade. Or you could just look at Skyward, and that is what your overall grade is. So this is your overall grade. Okay, if you use this column, you add them up, and this is 5 points each. You're going to add them up. So 8, 13, 15, and you're going to divide by 20, because each one's worth 5 points. 15 divided by 20 is 0.75 or 75%. ¿Entiendes? Or you can do it the way a Skyward does. It changes this to 100%, changes that to a 60%, changes that to 100%, and then it changes that to 40%. And then it adds all these up and divides by 400, because each one's 100%. That's the way your Skyward would work. And that would be 300% out of 400%. Either way, you're going to get 75%. Okay? ¿Entiendes? All right. Any questions thus far? Any other questions? This is important because this is your grade. Now, reason why you're going to do this after every quiz is because the next quiz, we're going to have this section on there again. And I've decided we're going to have this section on there again. So, say it's this Friday. It's not this Friday, but say it is this Friday. That would be now don't write this, because this is not, we're not going to have a quiz. This is just for example purposes. So say we're going to have a quiz this Friday. Okay, this is example purposes. Do not write this. We're going to redo this section, so this will be on the 31st. And we're going to redo this one on the 31st. And we'll do, I don't know, 3.1, 3.2, and maybe we'll do section 1.5, okay? So this would be the next quiz. Now, if you got a 5 on either one of those. Suppose last time I got a 5 here and a 5 here. Guess what? You can leave them blank because you can't get higher than a 5. Okay, I take the highest grade. So don't worry about that. If you have a 2 or a 1, you definitely want to concentrate on those and do better. Okay, a 3, I mean, you can absorb a 3 in your grades, but a 2 or a 1 is really hard to overcome. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so then you ask, that's the whole reason for keeping these. So you shut up. Now, I didn't say shut up to my students. I didn't say it. Just, I'm frustrated. Sure. Okay. Now, suppose you got a 2 or a 1. You left a blank and you got a 1 on 1.4 part 1. And we're not going to retake it on the next quiz. What do you do? Well, retake form. So, if you get a 2 or a 1 on one of the sections that we're not going to redo next quiz, you want to retake that 1 or 2. And what you have to do is fill this out, your name, Kirk, and the date you turn this form in, 8/28/18. And let's see, you want to take 1.4 part 1 over. Now, if you scored a 3 or better, say you scored a 3 or a 4 and you really want a 5, because you know that this is an easy section, want that 5 for the tougher sections that come on later on. You want that 5, you want to retake it. You made a stupid mistake and you got a 3 or 4 and you want that 5. You don't have to do any of these. Just fill out this form and turn it in to me. Okay? If you got a 2 or a 1, you're going to have to do 3 of these 4 assignments. Okay? Corrected summative, so you're going to take the quiz home and you're going to do corrections, or a completed review, and everybody should have this because we did the whole thing in class, right? Yes. So this one should be checked anyway. Homework assignments, you did all your homework, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully everybody did that. If you got a 1 or a 2, chances are you didn't do the homework. So you're going to have to do the homework. Or an extra remediation from the bucket. What that means is that I'll have another bin for remediation sheets, and you pick one of those. Okay? Only 3 out of the 4 you need. Then turn it in. Everybody understand my retake process? Any questions thus far? Now, again, you can either keep these yourself or turn them in to me and I'll keep them for you, which I highly suggest because you guys have a tendency to lose things. And you could view these at any time. I will keep a binder of these. Now, you don't want to lose these because why? It's all your grades. It's confidential, right? Don't lose these if you decide to keep them. All right, now hang on. I'll collect them in a sec, okay? Hang on. There's one thing I want to go over. There's probably some questions on the quiz. Well, this was a stupid mistake. Why did I get a 3? Okay. And one of those questions, okay, number 7. Okay, a lot of people did this and they can't understand why they got a 3. The answer here is what? If I get 1 free topping, yeah, it's team 2. Okay, team 2 because it takes out that 1 free topping from the price of the toppings, the number of toppings. Sorry. Now, if you put team 1, that's a conceptual error. Okay, so you just went from an A to a D. So that is what I call just, too fast. You were doing the quiz too fast. If I wasn't retesting it, you would fill one of these out. You probably got I gave you a 3 for just having the wrong number with the team. Okay, does that make sense? Don't be mad at me. It's a conceptual error. That's why I'm going to put it on the next quiz, because you'll know that it's T minus 1. I think you had a B version, it was T minus 2. Yeah. Does everybody understand that? Does anybody have any questions on the grading process? I recorded this so that you can watch it over and over and over again, how I grade your grade. Yes, ma'am. Okay, which one?